Evolve is, as you read on the press release, an asymmetric multiplayer game, but essentially it's a game about 4 dudes versus 1 massive monster. I think the thing that makes it stand out most is the fact that it's 1 massive monster that the human players are fighting against, and that massive monster is player controlled, so there is another human being acting as the monster. It's not doing anything too complicated. I mean, the core concept is really simple. I mean, it's an arena, and there's 4 men hunting another man who happens to be a massive monster. So it's not doing much different. The classes are quite interesting. You've got your basic assault guy who's like a tank. He just goes in there, wades in with his weapons. He's there to deal damage to the monster. Then you've got the trapper. Now the trapper is my favourite role because you're basically tracking the monster. And I think until you play Evolve, you don't really get a sense of how fast and how brutal it is. You are constantly chasing this thing. The monster gets a 10-second head start, that's it, and then the humans are in. And you're constantly chasing it around the map. So the trapper's role is really important. You've got to lay down little beacons to find where the monster is. You know, it's a really essential role. The other 2 classes are, there's a support class who he can bring in an orbital strike, and he can cloak himself, so it's useful if you want to heal one of your teammates. You just make yourself invisible, heal them, whatever. And then there's the medic. Medic's role is equally vital because she's there to heal the rest of the team, and the medic can fire into the monster with a sniper rifle and create weak spots, which you shoot for massive damage. Human players are always going to be more unpredictable than AI. It's actually quite easy to control the monster. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. And you know, as the monster, you employ all sorts of different tactics. You know, at the start you'll be running away because you're a relatively weak giant monster. And the whole idea is that you make yourself stronger by beating up local wildlife, eating it and evolving. You can evolve twice, so you become a level 3 monster and you're much bigger, harder, whatever. So, you know, there's that, you know, there's another layer of tactics that couldn't really be satisfied as well by being computer controlled. It's also worth pointing out that we've only seen 1 monster, and there are going to be loads of different ones in the game. Balancing is always going to be a huge concern for them because, you know, if players work out how to play one specific monster particularly well and just completely smashes the humans every time, it's a huge problem. When you've got like asymmetric multiplayer, when you've got 1 monster, 4 humans, and they're playing very differently, you know, balancing is always a huge concern. So as long as they get that right, they should be okay. And getting the variety in there as well. All of the monsters do have to be very different, otherwise the game will get quite samey fairly quickly. But then again, you know, maybe you said that about Left 4 Dead, and essentially all you're doing is wiping out a load of zombies over 4 maps, so who knows. Fighting aliens is the new blasting all the zombies. It's a very different experience. It's not like you're mowing down hordes. You don't have to look after your ammo. There's no ammo in Evolve. It's just, you know, it's just recharging weapons. That's one key difference. And the other big difference is it's really focused on taking down the monster. You have to really fight hard to kill this monster, and this monster is huge. It's well armored. It takes a hell of a lot to bring it down. It looks nice, and maybe the asymmetric nature of the multiplayer wasn't possible on current or last gen machines. I don't doubt that they've got a lot of features that they haven't talked about yet. Maybe stuff to do with sharing, maybe stuff to do with Twitch, things like that that are really going to show off the power of next gen consoles. I could be wrong. It could just be a multiplayer game, plain and simple, that just looks a bit nice, you know. I guess I'd say that it's a game for everyone because, you know, it's a bit different. As the monster, you can play as a lone wolf player, and you can really sort of get stuck in and do your own thing and, like, you know, just be that guy on his own. Whereas as the hunters, you definitely have to play as a team. So it's got those 2 things, it sort of combines those 2 things, so maybe that's how I'd sell it. It's like a multiplayer game for everyone, and who doesn't like shooting monsters?